Hey, Chris Lipe here with a compare and contrast Chester Bennington versus Emily Armstrong screaming techniques. And it's important to keep in mind as we go through this, the difference between varying techniques versus different voices. So approach versus natural sound and disposition. Analyzing these two voices together has been truly fascinating for me, especially as I start experimenting with my own voice based on what I hear each one doing. Let's dive into a bit of Dead Sarah to hear Emily's screams in her native habitat. Okay, again. Okay, that's from Dead Sarah, Lemon Scent. Now from Weatherman, The End, where it's not doubled, so we get a better understanding of her texture as a solo voice. Layered. Huh. And hear that little crack at the end? Let's listen to that one more time. Layered. Keep that in mind. Now listen to this sample from Jared Leto. I noticed some of these traits in the September 5th live performance with Linkin Park, but it's really cool to hear that she's been doing it this way even on the studio. It wasn't a live thing that I heard, like, do her screams sound that way just because it's live and nerves and stuff like that? No, this is her approach to screaming, and we hear it in this setting very clearly. It's very broken up. It sounds sort of inconsistent, and it's a very broad engagement. If I'm going to get there with this technique, I'm going to do this. Better fail! Now I have a male lower voice. I'm going to bring it down to where my voice behaves more like what she's doing. She is basing this in chest voice, and there's a lot of weight behind it. She's going up to a point in her chest voice. We better fail! Where it starts to falter, and then she pushes into it and then compresses into it. And it sounds loose and juicy. We better fail! We better fail! If you listen carefully, you can hear those falterings up into chest, or up into head voice, but firmly rooted in chest voice. And then there at the end, we hear that slow down because she's not compressing into it as much, and she's letting her voice falter. It sounds more like just little breaks. And we heard some of this stuff happen by accident in the live performance, but you can hear it happening here as just part of her overall sound. And when we listen to that Jared Leto sample again, we've got the note behind it, but we've also got that chesty, broad grit going into it. So I would say that her technique is more like Jared Leto, and a lot of people have drawn this conclusion. It's a little bit more like Kurt Cobain than the truly varied techniques we heard Chester Bennington do. For sure, Chester Bennington used this same sing-scream approach where it was chestier, but he also incorporated a lot of other techniques, a lot of other types of engagements. Some narrower, some broader, some lower, some higher, that created a much greater range of sounds. And who knows, we may hear Emily do more of that. There were hints of that in the September 5th performance as well. When we're talking about an element that I believe isn't there yet with Emily, that was there for Chester, perhaps Chester said it best himself.
Scream singing. It's unlike yelling, where you're like yelling at somebody. You want to like relax the voice, use your diaphragm, relax the voice, use your diaphragm.
Now, of course, he's not really giving a lesson here, but that's really insightful. Relax the voice. Relax into the scream. And the more I study Chester with the help of friends, I realized that was a huge part, especially as he appeared to get more intense and rangy with his screams. his showmanship seemed like he was getting more and more and more intense. Whereas there was an element of relaxing into his voice that he was able to do to bring us the sound that we love. This is something that we didn't hear yet, haven't heard yet from Emily. Let's do a bit more compare and contrast here, from one step closer.
Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up!
Okay. Shut up when I'm talking to you! To use Emily's approach. We're just gonna push up to the point to where we find our natural vocal break and then compress into it. Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up! Shut up! Okay. Cool. Intense. And there is a small element of relaxing into that, but it does seem to have this linear up to it. Okay. Listen more. Also, there's a shut up! There's a very defined note there. She's sticking to that one note, and she's also sticking to the same area of engagement with her scream. Shut up! Shut up! So it kind of sounds the same every time. The pitch basis is the same, the engagement is the same. Okay? Listen a little bit more.
Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up!
There, she changed the pitch basis of the sing scream. Shut up when I'm talking to you! But she didn't change the type of engagement. If you're interested in developing and learning how to practice these types of engagements in your own voice, head to mymusicalvoice.com and check out any of the collaborative courses I've made with some amazing artists that will show you how to build these sounds in your voice. mymusicalvoice.com, and you can enter the code SCREAMBIG for a hefty discount. And you heard it that on that up, you heard that flutter chest-based up into her head voice. Listen to Chester do this same section. Already, that's a very different sound. What's going on there? Let's talk about that one. This is also chesty. I'm going to try real hard not to use terms, but instead describe things as sensations, because that's how I learn best. This is a chest up sensation, almost a throw up or gag sound, using an upper constriction, keeping the vocal cords engaged as we follow the sensation of constriction up, compression. Listen to this. Break! That's fairly low effort. If I were to approach that like Emily was doing her technique, break! I would be exerting way more effort along that pitch basis, and it's less consistent, as you can hear what happens sometimes to Emily in her performance. Listen again. We're using the mouth shape, and it's not that much effort, but it looks intense. You know, his face looks intense. Now, keep listening. Okay. Shut up when I'm talking. Now, it's easier for me to match the pitch basis here because we have more similar ranges, although he's still way higher than me. But we have a compressed yell. We're not into sing-screaming per se yet. We're more into that Chester yell phase, which it's not just a yell. It's a compressed yell.
Shut up when I'm talking to you!
Shut up when I'm talking to you! I'm stating the note, and then I'm compressing over it. But I'm not coming from way down here. I'm choosing a higher pitch basis, not this. Higher.
Shut up when I'm talking to you!
Shut up when I'm talking to you! There's an element of breaking, but I'm so firmly rooted in chest and compressing into chest before I break that the engagement is narrower, and it's just a compressed note, not quite a scream. Now, listen to what happens. It gets grittier. I'm going to exaggerate it, of course, but we've got, shut up when I'm talking to you! More of a compressed note, and then on shut up, he lets it falter with that broad engagement that Emily does, but with more compression, so it doesn't falter as much. And you hear that note in there still. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Here it's also tighter. There's a higher engagement of compression. Shut up! Happening that's not happening with Emily. If we were to do this like Emily, shut up! It's looser. Chester, more like, yeah, shut up! Shut up! Mouth shape has a lot to do with this as well. Shut up when I'm talking to you! You heard him go through a range on his voice, but also a range in engagements. The height of the engagement. Whereas Emily didn't really change the height of her engagement, where she's compressing, where she's constricting, Chester did. And that makes all the difference here. Yo! Yo! That's like the beginning one that I went over. He goes from, shut up when I'm talking to you! Oh! It's a different feeling engagement. The shut up is broader and a little higher. Yo! When he goes down in pitch, he also lowers the point of engagement in his throat. A different part of his throat is constricting. And it's also a narrower engagement as opposed to a broader engagement in terms of sensation. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Ugh. Shut up! I'm about to break it. Now listen as he goes into more of the pure singing. He's backed off on the constriction compression, and he's firmly rooted in his chest voice. He's no longer flirting with his vocal break like he was on Shut Up. Now let's go back and talk about the epic entrance into this section. It's different still. And this is where I'm talking about the element of relaxing into your voice being so important. We covered the break, but listen to the before that. There's very little voice in there. This is an all-out scream as opposed to a sing scream. It's not quite completely voiceless, but it's more voiceless than what we normally hear out of Chester. And it's high. Now, it's important to note that with Chester and Emily, there's always an element of a pitch basis, a sing scream. Neither vocalist completely removes the note. But in this case, and in many cases, Chester removes the note so much that if you're not listening with, isolated vocals, you don't really hear the note, you just hear the scream aspect of it, or just all distortion, like this one.
This riff is killer. That's a full-on scream.
Uh-huh.
All right, do that. Do the range. So
even Andy there. But listen to how Andy develops it. It's a very relaxed engagement.
we're placing that,
that's up here,
higher. I feel it. Again, it's like, so I'm taking
hardly any effort from him to get that sound.
Right, I'm starting from and then adding some air. And then I sort of combine.
You hear me doing it too?
Combining that with the power of a head voice shout. God! God!
And this brings to light something that we don't hear Emily doing, that we hear Chester doing, especially when he gets into his real crazy, like given up type screams. entering from a relaxed state of head voice and developing it in the way that Andy is showing us here.
I got the yeah, that very squeaky, and I started to combine them. And I'm even feeling a little bit of support from my core.
Here's me practicing and playing with this deceptively light sound so you can get an idea of someone who doesn't have this built into their muscle memory yet. Whoa! Yeah! Huh! Hey! That's sounding like a very lighter, higher placed resonance. The constriction is up there as opposed to but it's still compressed into, it's still supported, and it's a head voice down approach. We hear Emily do this just a little bit in part of the September 5th performance.
The very worst part of you is
You can hear that contrast between her connected, basically chest voice broken up versus that head voice approach. It's thinner, there's less note involved.
the very worst part of you.
So we know it's there. We just haven't heard her lean into it as much as we've heard Chester. And I'm sure we'll hear more of that as the band progresses with Emily as the new singer. Hopefully you found this helpful. Like I said, I found this super fascinating to go in and compare and contrast and experiment. Again, if you'd like help developing and practicing these types of engagements with your voice, I've got lots of resources. Head to mymusicalvoice.com and enter the code SCREAMBIG for a hefty discount on any course you see there. We'll see you for more.